puppies. 5 yellow, 2 black. "Oh," I said, opening my door to scramble out before the Jeep had even completely stopped. "I thought we'd just look," Andy said. Of course, nobody ever just looks at a Labrador puppy. We climbed into the playpen circle and let them bounce all over us, licking us with their tiny puppy tongues, huffing their coffee-smelling puppy breath on our faces, chomping us with their tiny needle teeth. They were so young that they still had their gosling fluff instead of actual fur. Their tails had candlewick twists on the ends. Their bellies were soft and white and roly-poly, reminding me of one of my favorite little golden books from childhood, The Pokey Little Puppy. "I want one," exclaimed my mom when I texted her grainy photos from my flip phone. "Let's take the brothers." The brothers were the 2 black males. By the time we left an hour later, I had put down a deposit on both, one for me, one for my mom. The breeder tattooed the inside of the pup's ears so we could tell the boys apart. That was how Woodrow, 01, the more alpha of the 2 brothers, came to me. I had not intended to get a dog. It wasn't a good time. Andy had only just moved in. Our apartment on Beacon Hill was the size of a postage stamp. I was working as an adjunct writing professor, and I was about to launch my first book. Then again, as people sometimes say about getting pregnant, or in my mom's case, quitting smoking, it's never a good time to get a dog. You might as well dive right in. And who could resist those puppies? Plus, I was predilected. Dogs were in my family's DNA. A photo of my mom's great-grandmother Genora in rural Minnesota shows a lady in stylish furs, hat, and button-up high-heeled boots, with a square-headed black lab sitting at her feet. On my dad's side, the legendary and stalwart black lab guy was the star of all his childhood memories. My first dog predated me. My mom's Cocker Spaniel Vivo, a gorgeous, honey-colored AKC champion who loved to hide beneath things. My crib, the Christmas tree, my mom's piano, and attack anyone who came near. The day Vivo, blind and deaf, was scheduled to be taken to the vet to be put to sleep, my dad, who had a long-running feud with the dog, reached down to pet him one last time. "Goodbye, old boy," he said tearfully. Vivo snarled and bit his hand. "Well, the hell with you," my dad said. After that, we had labs. Our house, in the commuter suburb of Montclair, New Jersey, was a kind of lab farm when I was growing up. At one point, we had 3 full-grown retrievers banging around. Buddha, who was dumb but sweet, with such a bad overbite that seen from below, his mouth looked like the sharks on the cover of Jaws. Buddy, an elegant, intelligent yellow lab who posed on Oriental rugs, ate Haagen-Dazs ice cream, and led poor dumb Buddha astray, coaxing him into leaving the yard and then abandoning him on unfamiliar streets. And Gus, who was 120 pounds of pure, untamed muscle and who, when the doorbell rang, would pick up the nearest object, a tennis racket, a hammer, a lamp, and charge the visitor with it. You might think that after all this, I might not want a lab of my own, but 8 weeks after we saw the pups, we returned to the little farm by the cranberry bog, and the Jones boys, as we called them, Woodrow Jones and Smarty Jones, came home with us. My mom took Smarty to Florida. Woodrow stayed with me. Thus began the most durable love affair of my life. It was not easy at first. Woodrow, like many puppies, was like Helen Keller pre-Annie Sullivan. He ravaged the apartment. He tore round and round in circles. He jumped on me ceaselessly while I tried to write, while I frantically Googled how to make puppies stop jumping. He ate a whole rawhide bone as big as his body in 2 minutes, causing me to then Google, can puppy die from eating whole rawhide? One weekend I called Andy, who was in New Hampshire with his son, in tears. I said, I feel like I'm babysitting somebody else's monster child.